The great hall of the Galactic Concord floated in the black emptiness between stars. It was a huge round room made of clear crystal. Inside, thousands of alien beings sat in glowing pods that hung in the air like colorful bubbles. Some looked like giant insects with shiny shells. Others were tall and thin like walking plants. A few were clouds of light that shifted colors when they spoke. All of them watched the center platform. On that platform stood one lone figure. He was Elder Thalor of the Valari people. The Valari were small and gentle. Their skin was soft silver, and their large, dark eyes always looked kind. They had no sharp claws or strong armor. They carried no weapons. For many thousands of years, the Valari had lived quietly on their green worlds. They made beautiful songs, painted pictures of the stars, yes, and thought deeply about life and peace. They never joined wars. They never built big armies. They said fighting only brought more pain. Now the other species were angry. The Krix overlord rose from his pod. He was huge. His body was covered in black metal plates that clicked when he moved. Red eyes burned behind his helmet. His voice came out like grinding stones. "The Valari bring nothing," he said. "They sit in safety while we bleed to keep the borders safe. Their ships carry art and books, not guns. Their worlds grow flowers, not fortresses. They weaken the whole Concord." A low rumble of agreement rolled through the hall. Pods flashed bright colors to show support. The insect delegates clicked their mandibles. The plant-like ones rustled their leaves. Even the light cloud beings pulsed red with anger. Elder Thalor stood very still, and he did not shout back. He spoke in a calm, soft voice that somehow reached every corner of the huge room. "We have always chosen peace," he said. "We feed the hungry when wars leave them empty. We heal the wounded when battles end. We sing songs to calm frightened children. Is that weakness? Or is it strength the rest of you have forgotten?" The Krix overlord laughed. It was a harsh, ugly sound. "Peace is a luxury," he answered. "We live in a galaxy of teeth and claws. Those who will not fight must be pushed aside. Your refusal ends today." A tall delegate from the Zorath Empire stood next. She had 4 arms and eyes like cold blue glass. "The vote has been counted," she said. "The decision is final. From this moment, the Valari are no longer part of the Concord. Your home systems are claimed by those who defend them. Your trade routes are closed. Your ships may not enter our space. You are cast out. Go into the dark between the stars. Survive if you can." Elder Thalor lowered his head. He did not beg. He did not cry. He simply said one quiet sentence. "Then we will go." The crystal hall filled with noise. Cheers, victory cries. Some pods opened and small drones flew out to record the moment for their homeworlds. The Valari were finished. Everyone believed it. Outside the hall, the Valari fleet waited. It was not a war fleet. There were no battle cruisers with heavy guns. There were only transport ships, science vessels, and old passenger liners. Their hulls were painted with soft colors: pale blue, warm gold, gentle green. Now those colors looked sad against the cold black of space. Inside the lead ship, called the Light of Dawn, and families gathered in the main hall, parents held their children close. Old ones sat quietly with their hands folded. Everyone knew what the vote meant. Their beautiful home worlds, planets of quiet forests, crystal rivers, and cities built like gardens, would soon belong to someone else. Soldiers would walk their streets. Factories would rise where parks once stood. The songs would stop. Captain Lyra Voss stood at the front of the bridge. She was young for a Valari captain, but her eyes were steady. She looked at her crew. "We have 2 choices," she said. "We can fight to keep what is ours, or we can leave and keep who we are." No one spoke for a long moment. Then an old artist named Mara raised her hand. Her fingers were stained with paint from years of making pictures. "If we fight," she said, "we become like them." We lose the one thing that makes us Valari. Heads nodded slowly around the bridge. Captain Lyra turned to the navigation officer. "Set course for the outer rim," she ordered. "The empty sectors, away from all claimed space." The engines hummed to life. One by one, the other ships followed. The fleet moved slowly, like a line of tired birds leaving a dying forest. Behind them, the Concorde warships arrived at the Valari home system. Bright beams cut through the sky. Cities burned. Green fields turned to ash. The invaders did not need to kill many Valari. The people had already left in their ships. But the message was clear. This place was no longer theirs. Days turned to weeks. The fleet drifted farther and farther from the bright center of the galaxy. Food rations grew small. Power flickered in the older ships. Children asked when they would see home again. Parents could only hold them and whisper that better days would come. Elder Thalor walked the corridors of the light of dawn every day. He stopped to speak with each family. He listened to their fears. He shared what little hope he had left. One night he stood alone at a wide window and looked at the distant stars. They looked cold and far away. "We were cast out," he said softly to the darkness, "because we would not become monsters." He closed his eyes. "But somewhere out there," he whispered, "there must be a place for those who still remember kindness." He did not know it yet, but far beyond the edge of the mapped stars, a small blue world called Earth was listening to the first faint signals of a lost fleet in need. The galaxy had turned its back. But the story was only beginning. The scout ship Horizon moved slowly through the dark edge of known space. It was a small, tough vessel built for long patrols. Its hull was gray and plain, marked only with the blue circle of the United Earth Fleet. Inside, the lights were soft, and the air smelled faintly of coffee and metal. Captain Nathan Hale sat in the command chair. He was a tall man with short brown hair and calm green eyes. At 38, he had seen many strange things in the outer sectors, but he never lost his steady manner. He liked quiet shifts. They gave him time to think. On this day, the bridge was busy. Sensors pinged with new data. Lieutenant Commander Lisa Morgan stood at the main console. She had black hair tied back and sharp brown eyes that missed nothing. She was the best sensor officer Nathan had ever worked with. Captain," she said, "long-range array just picked up something. A group of signals, very weak. They are not random noise." Nathan leaned forward. "What kind of signals?" Lisa tapped the screen. A holo map appeared. Small red dots blinked in a loose line, drifting slowly away from the galactic core. "Multiple ships," she answered. "Old design. Power levels are low. Life support is barely holding. No weapons active, no shields up. They look like they have been running for a long time." Ensign Tyler Brooks, the young engineer at the back station, looked up. He had curly red hair and always wore a hopeful smile. "Could be refugees," he said, "or smugglers who ran out of luck." Nathan shook his head. "Smugglers would have guns hot and engines screaming. These are limping. Open a channel. Wide band. Let's see who answers." Lisa sent the hail. "This is Earth Vessel Horizon. We have detected your convoy. You appear to be in distress. Please respond. We offer assistance if needed." For a long minute there was only silence. Then a soft voice came through the speakers. It was calm and tired, like wind through dry leaves. "This is Elder Thaler of the Valari fleet. We are the last of our people. The Galactic Concorde has cast us out. We seek only safe passage through this sector. We will not ask for more." The bridge went quiet. Everyone looked at Nathan. Lisa pulled up the data again. "Captain, scans confirm. Those ships match Valari profiles. Civilian only. No military signatures at all. Life signs show high stress, low supplies. Many children on board." Dr. Sophia Bennett walked onto the bridge. She was the chief medical officer. sat a woman in her early 40s with kind hazel eyes and short dark hair. She carried a tablet and wore her white coat even on patrol duty. "I have been listening to the comms," she said. "Their medical bays are overloaded. Dehydration, malnutrition, minor injuries from panic during evacuation. They are not lying about being cast out. The Concorde broadcast the exile order 3 weeks ago. It was all over the news nets." Nathan rubbed his chin. He looked at the holomap again. The Volari ships were moving toward a dead zone, a stretch of empty space with no stars, no planets, no help. If they kept going that way, most of them would not survive another month. "Options?" he asked his officers. Tyler spoke first. "We could give them some supplies. Food packs, water recyclers, spare parts, then let them go on their way." Sophia shook her head. They need more than supplies. They need a place to rest, repair, heal. If we just hand them boxes and wave goodbye, we are sending them to die slowly." Lisa crossed her arms. "The Conquered will not like it if we get involved. They see the Volari as a problem. Helping them could be seen as taking sides." Nathan stood up. He walked to the main view screen. The distant dots of the alien ships glowed faintly against the black. "The Concorde is billions of light years away," he said. "Those people are right here, right now. They chose peace over war, and the galaxy punished them for it. We do not punish people for wanting to live without blood on their hands." He turned to his crew. "We are humans. We have a long history of taking in the lost. Ellis Island, refugee camps after old wars. We built our world on second chances. If we turn away now, what are we?" No one argued. "Open docking channels," Nathan ordered. "Prepare medical teams. Tyler, get engineering ready to transfer power cells and repair drones. Lisa, keep sensors on full sweep in case anyone followed them." The crew moved fast. Alarms chimed softly as the horizon changed course. Grapples extended. Lights flashed along the hull to signal peaceful intent. On the lead Volari ship, Elder Thalor watched the human vessel approach. He stood on the quiet bridge with Captain Lyra Voss. They had expected silence or threats. Not this. The human ship was smaller than their own, but it looked strong. Clean lines, bright running lights, no scars from recent battles. "They are coming to us," Lyra said. Her voice held surprise. Thalor placed a gentle hand on her shoulder. Perhaps there are still kind hearts among the stars." A new voice came over the comms. It was Nathan Hale. "Elder Thalor, this is Captain Nathan Hale of the Horizon. We have permission from Earth Command to offer you asylum. We will escort your fleet to one of our colony worlds. You will be safe there. You will have food, medicine, and time to rebuild. You do not have to wander anymore." Thalor closed his eyes for a moment. When he opened them, tears shone in the corners. Captain Lyra stepped forward. "Why?" she asked. "Why would your people help strangers who have nothing to give?" Nathan's answer came without pause. "Because no one should be alone in the dark, not when there is room at the table." The words hung in the air. On the horizon, Sophia prepared the medical bay. Nurses set up beds. Engineers carried crates of nutrient packs. Tyler worked with his team to match airlock seals so the Volari could board safely. When the first docking tube connected, a soft hiss filled the corridor. The inner door slid open. Elder Thalor stepped through first. He was thin and weary, but he stood straight. Behind him came others, parents with children in their arms, old ones leaning on young shoulders, artists still carrying small cases of brushes and paints. Nathan waited at the end of the tube. He extended his hand. "Welcome," he said simply. Thalor looked at the offered hand. He had read about this human custom. Slowly, he reached out and clasped it. For the first time in many weeks, the old Volari smiled. "Thank you, Captain Hale," he said. "You have given us more than passage. You have given us hope." The two groups stood together in the bright corridor of the horizon. Humans and Valari. Different skins, different eyes, different pasts. But in that moment, they shared the same quiet understanding. Out in the black, the rest of the Valari fleet slowly turned to follow the small human scout ship. The galaxy had cast them out. But humanity had opened its doors. The news reached Earth fast. A simple text burst from the horizon arrived at the Global Command Center in Geneva. It said one short sentence. "We have taken in the Valari fleet, requesting full asylum approval. Captain Nathan Hale, screens lit up in every major city." People stopped what they were doing to watch the feeds. Images came through clear and sharp. Long lines of tired silver-skinned aliens stepping onto the clean decks of the horizon. Small Valari children holding the hands of human medics. Old ones wrapped in warm blankets. The pictures spread across every network in minutes. In the great assembly hall on Earth, leaders from every nation gathered. The room was bright and round. Flags of old countries hung next to the blue globe symbol of united humanity. President Elena Vargas sat at the head table. She was a strong woman in her late 50s, with gray streaks in her dark hair and eyes that saw everything. She had led Earth through hard years of climate recovery and first contact protocols. Now she faced something new. The debate started right away. General Marcus Reed spoke first. He wore his uniform crisp and straight. His voice was deep and careful. "This could start trouble," he said. "The Concord sent clear orders. No aid, no contact. If we help these Valari, we poke the bear. They have thousands of warships. We have good ships, but not that many." A scientist from the Pacific Union stood up next. Dr. Liam Carter adjusted his glasses. "But look at the data," he said. "The Valari never joined their wars. They refused to build weapons. That is why they were thrown out. If we say no now, we tell the galaxy that peace has no value. We tell our own children that kindness is weak." Voices rose. Some agreed with the general. Others pointed to the images on the big screens. A young Valari girl smiled shyly while a human nurse brushed her hair. An old Valari man bowed low to thank a doctor. The room grew quiet when those pictures stayed on screen. President Vargas listened to every speaker. She did not interrupt. When the last voice finished, she stood up slowly. "I remember stories from my grandmother," she said. "She came to this country as a child with nothing. And people gave her family a small room and food when no one else would. That small act built lives. It built cities. It built us." She looked around the table. "These Valari are not asking for war. They are asking for a place to breathe, to heal, to live without fear. If we turn them away, we lose more than allies. We lose who we are." She paused. "I call for a vote. Full asylum, safe harbor on New Eden Colony, resources, protection, all in favor?" Hands rose one by one. Some hesitated. But in the end, every hand went up. No one voted against. The decision was sent back to the horizon in a tight beam message. It arrived while the ship still drifted with the Valari fleet nearby. Captain Nathan Hale read the order aloud on the bridge. His voice stayed even, but a small smile touched his lips. "Earth approves," he said. We escort them to New Eden. Full support, no turning back." Cheers broke out, short and happy. Lieutenant Commander Lisa Morgan clapped once on her console. Ensign Tyler Brooks grinned wide and pumped his fist. Dr. Sophia Bennett wiped a quick tear from her eye. On the Valari lead ship, Elder Thalor received the same message. He sat in the quiet common room with Captain Lyra Voss and a few others. The lights were dim to save power. When the translator finished speaking the human words, silence fell. Thalor stood up slowly. His hands shook just a little. "They said yes," he whispered. Lyra looked at him. "They are giving us a home." Thalor walked to the wide window. Stars filled the black outside. For weeks, those stars had looked cold and empty. Now they seemed a little warmer. He turned to the others. "Gather everyone," he said. Tell the children first." Word spread through the ships like soft wind. Parents woke sleeping young ones. Old ones sat up in their beds. In every corridor and every small room, Valari listened as the message played again and again. A small boy named Kale ran to his mother. "Mama, do we have a place now?" His mother pulled him close. "Yes, little one, a real place, with trees and sky and people who want us there." Tears fell freely, not from sadness, from something deeper, relief, gratitude, hope that had almost died. Back on the horizon, Nathan called a short meeting in the main mess hall. Crew members filled the tables. Valari guests sat among them, some still shy, some already smiling. Nathan stood at the front. "We are heading to New Eden," he told them all. "It is a green world, wide fields, fresh water, a room for everyone. Earth is sending more ships with supplies, doctors, builders, teachers. You will not be guests. You will be neighbors, friends, part of us." Elder Thalor rose to speak. His voice carried through the room without effort. "Your people could have looked away," he said. "Many would have. You chose not to. You chose us when the galaxy said we were nothing. Words cannot repay that. But we will try. With our hands, our minds, our hearts." He bowed low. Every Valari in the room did the same. The humans clapped. Not loud, gentle, respectful. After the meeting, small groups formed. A Valari artist showed sketches to Tyler Brooks. The young engineer laughed when he saw pictures of crystal gardens that could grow under human lights. Dr. Sophia Bennett sat with a Valari healer and talked quietly about medicine. Lisa Morgan walked with Captain Lyra Voss along the observation deck, pointing out stars and explaining human names for them. The fleet turned as one. The horizon took the lead. Valari ships followed in a careful line. Their engines glowed soft blue now instead of weak yellow. Hope gave them strength. Days passed. The journey to New Eden was long, but no one complained. Food came from human stores. Stories were shared in mixed groups. Children from both sides played simple games in the corridors. Laughter sounded strange at first to Valari ears. Then it started to feel right. One evening, Nathan stood alone on the bridge. The stars moved slowly past the view screen. Lisa walked up beside him. "You know the conquered will not stay quiet," she said. Nathan nodded. "I know. They might send ships. Demand we give them up." He looked at her. Then we will answer, calmly, firmly. These people are under our flag now." Lisa smiled a little. "You sound like you are ready for whatever comes." "I am," he said. "Because for the first time in a long while, what we are doing feels completely right." Far ahead, the yellow sun of New Eden grew brighter in the distance. A new home waited. Not perfect, not without work, but real, open, ready. The galaxy had cast the Valari out into darkness. Humanity reached out and gave them light. The first ships touched down on New Eden under a wide blue sky. The planet was young and green. Tall grass waved in the warm wind. Rivers ran clear over smooth stones. Two small suns hung low, painting everything in soft gold light. The colony had neat rows of white houses, wide fields, and a single landing field made of packed dirt. People waited there with open hands and quiet smiles. Captain Nathan Hale stepped out first. He wore his simple gray uniform. Behind him came Elder Thalor and Captain Lyra Voss. The Valari looked small against the tall humans, but their eyes shone bright. Children ran forward, curious and unafraid. A little human girl with braids held out a flower. A Valari boy took it carefully and smiled. The first weeks were full of work. Big cargo ships arrived from Earth every few days. They brought food crates, building tools, medical kits, and seeds for new crops. Humans and Valari worked side by side from morning until the sun set. Engineer Tyler Brooks led one of the first mixed teams. He was good with machines and even better with people. He met a Valari named Alara who knew how to shape crystal into gentle energy nets. And together they built new power stations. The human generators were strong, but loud. The Valari nets were quiet and clean. They caught light from the twin suns and turned it into steady power. Soon, every house on the colony had lights that never flickered. "See?" Tyler said one afternoon as he wiped sweat from his face. "Your way makes our way better." Alara touched the glowing crystal panel. "And your strong frames keep our nets safe from wind and rain. We are stronger together." Dr. Sophia Bennett set up a shared clinic in the center of the main settlement. She taught Valari healers about human medicines. They showed her how to use soft songs and warm touch to ease pain. One day, a human farmer came in with a bad cut from a farm tool. A Valari healer placed her hands over the wound and hummed a low note. The bleeding slowed. Sophia cleaned it and closed it with a simple stitch. The farmer walked out the next morning with almost no scar. "Thank you," he told them both. "I feel like I have two families now." Not everything was easy at first. Some humans kept their distance. They watched the silver-skinned strangers from windows or across fields. Old fears die slow. A few Valari felt shy, too. They stayed close to their tents and spoke in quiet voices. But small things changed that. Children led the way. They did not care about old rules or faraway empires. Human boys and Valari girls chased each other through the tall grass. They played tag and hide-and-seek. They taught each other words. Hello became Sala in Valari speech. Friend became Kira. Laughter sounded the same in every language. One evening, a group of kids built a fire pit near the river. They roasted sweet roots from the fields. An old Valari storyteller named Mara sat with them. She told tales of crystal cities that floated on calm seas. A human grandfather named Daniel added stories of wooden ships that crossed wide oceans on Earth. The children listened with wide eyes until the fire burned low. Commander Lisa Morgan walked the new districts every day. She carried a small tablet to note problems, broken pipes, empty store shelves, tired workers. But she also noted good things. A Valari family invited a human neighbor for dinner. A human carpenter helped build a Valari meditation hall with curved walls and open sky above. Lisa smiled more than she used to. One quiet afternoon, she found Captain Nathan Hale on a hill above the settlement. He sat on a flat rock and looked down at the growing colony. But smoke rose from chimneys. Lights glowed in windows even though it was still day. Mixed groups worked in the fields. Laughter drifted up on the breeze. "You did this," Lisa said as she sat beside him. Nathan shook his head. "We all did. Every hand, every choice." Below them, a young Valari girl ran up the hill. She carried a small crystal carving shaped like a flower. She stopped in front of Sophia, who had followed Lisa up the path. "This is for you," the girl said in careful English. "It holds light from our old home. Now it holds light from our new one." Sophia took the crystal. It felt warm in her hand. Tiny colors danced inside when the suns hit it. "Thank you," she said. Her voice caught just a little. The girl hugged her quickly, then ran back down to play. Nathan watched her go. "They trust us," he said softly. "After everything, they trust us." More ships came. Some brought teachers. Others brought seeds for Valari fruits that grew well in human soil. A few carried builders who knew how to mix the two styles. Soon houses had human straight walls with Valari curved roofs. Gardens grew earth vegetables next to glowing Valari vines that bloomed at night. News from the Concord arrived now and then. Angry messages, demands. Return the exiles or face consequences. The colony leaders read them and sent short replies. They are home now. They stay. No threats, no anger, just clear words. The Velari gave back in every way they could. Their artists painted murals on public walls. Scenes of two suns and many hands joined. Their musicians played soft music in the evenings. It calmed tired workers and helped children sleep. And their thinkers shared ideas about living gently on a world. Humans listened and learned. One night a storm came. Dark clouds rolled in fast. Wind howled. Rain fell hard. In the human part of the settlement, roofs held strong. In the new Velari tents, poles bent. People ran for cover. Tyler Brooks and Ilara worked through the night. They stretched crystal nets over the tents like big, clear umbrellas. The nets caught the wind and turned it into light that kept the shelters warm. When morning came, the storm passed. No one was hurt. No home was lost. People gathered in the center square. They shared hot drinks and quiet thanks. Elder Thalor stood on a low platform. "We came with nothing," he said. "You gave us everything. Not just walls and food. You gave us place. You gave us family." A human farmer stepped forward. He was big and quiet, and he looked at the crowd. "You did not come to take," he said. "You came to share. That matters more than words." Hands clapped, not loud, warm, real. Captain Nathan Hale stood at the back. He watched faces in the morning light. Human faces, Velari faces, all mixed together, all smiling. The galaxy had thrown these people away like broken things. But on New Eden, broken things became whole again, and the bonds grew stronger every day. Months passed on New Eden. The colony grew strong and bright. Fields turned golden with crops. New houses rose with straight human walls and smooth Velari curves. Children from both peoples ran through the streets, speaking a mix of words that sounded like music. The twin suns rose each morning over a place that felt like home to everyone. Then the warning came. And a sharp signal cut through the quiet comms array one clear afternoon. Captain Nathan Hale stood on the bridge of the horizon, now docked at the main landing field. The ship had become more than a scout. It was a guardian. Screens flashed red. A fleet signature appeared at the edge of the system. Large, armed, Concord markings. Commander Lisa Morgan pulled up the data fast. 20 heavy cruisers, 10 support vessels, full battle configuration. They are broadcasting on all open channels. Nathan listened to the cold voice that filled the bridge. "This is Admiral Core of the Galactic Concord Enforcement Fleet. The exiles known as Velari are in violation of Concord Decree. The human colony harbors fugitives. Surrender them within 1 standard hour. Failure will result in orbital intervention." Silence fell over the bridge, and everyone looked at Nathan. He did not raise his voice. "Open a reply channel." The comms officer nodded. Nathan stepped forward. "This is Captain Nathan Hale of the United Earth Fleet. The Velari are not fugitives. They are citizens of New Eden under Earth protection. They live here by choice. We live here by choice. This world is ours. Leave now, or face the consequences." The Admiral's voice came back sharp. "You speak for a small blue world. We speak for the galaxy. Prepare for boarding teams." The line cut. Nathan turned to his crew. "Sound general quarters. Raise shields. Call every pilot to their craft. We defend our home." Alarms wailed across the colony. People moved fast but calm. Parents took children to shelters dug deep under the hills. Farmers grabbed tools that could become weapons if needed, but most grabbed nothing, and they trusted the people who had given them this life. In the main operations center, Elder Thaler stood beside Nathan. His silver skin looked pale under the lights, but his eyes were steady. "We will not hide," he said. "We stand with you." Nathan placed a hand on the old Velari's shoulder. "Then we stand together." The battle started at dusk. The conquered fleet dropped into low orbit like dark shadows against the purple sky. Beams lanced down first, testing the defenses. New Eden's shield grid, built from human alloys and Velari crystal lattices, flared bright blue. The beams scattered like rain on glass. From the surface, fighters rose. Human pilots in fast interceptors flew beside Valari craft. The Valari ships had no guns at first. Now they carried light pulse arrays that engineer Tyler Brooks and Alara had designed together. And the pulses did not destroy. They disrupted. Engines failed. Sensors went blind. Shields flickered out. Tyler sat in the power room of the Horizon. Sweat ran down his face as he rerouted every spare watt through the crystal grid. "Hold on," he muttered to the humming lattice. "Just a little longer." Above, Captain Lyra Voss flew lead in a small Valari scout. She danced her ship through enemy fire with gentle turns. A human wingman stayed tight on her tail, covering her weak spots. Together they turned a Concorde destroyer away, forcing it to break formation. On the ground, Dr. Sophia Bennett worked in the main shelter. She treated burns from stray energy leaks and calm, shaking hands. A young Valari girl sat beside her, holding a glowing crystal to ease fear. "We are safe," the girl whispered. "They protect us." Sophia smiled through her tiredness. "Yes, we all protect each other." The Concorde pressed harder. 3 cruisers moved into bombardment range, their main guns charged with deep red light. Nathan watched from the bridge. "Tyler, now!" In the power room, Tyler flipped the final switch. The crystal lattice sang. Power surged up through every line on the planet. A wave of soft blue light rose from New Eden like a bubble. It met the charging beams and swallowed them. The red light vanished. The cruiser's guns went dark. The Concorde admiral stared at his screens. Impossible. But it was real. Human and Valari fighters pressed the attack. They flew in tight pairs. One drew fire while the other struck. Engines exploded in silent fireballs. Hulls cracked. One by one, the big ships turned away. The fleet broke. A final message came from the lead cruiser. "This is not over," Nathan answered. "It is for today. Go home. Tell your leaders we keep what is ours." The Concorde ships jumped out. The sky went quiet again. Cheers rose from every shelter and every field. People ran out into the night air. They hugged, they cried, they laughed. Humans lifted Valari children onto their shoulders. Valari elders bowed to human farmers. The twin suns would rise soon on a world that had stood firm. In the days that followed, stories spread far beyond New Eden. Traders carried them to distant ports. Pilots whispered them in dim bars. Word traveled slow across the stars, but it traveled true. The outcasts had not died in the dark. They had found a home. They had fought beside their new family. And they had won. The Captain Nathan Hale walked the main street one quiet morning. Shops were open. Voices filled the air in 2 languages. A mural on a wall showed 2 suns and many joined hands. Below it, someone had painted small words in careful script. "We stand together." Elder Thaler walked beside him. They stopped at the riverbank. Water ran clear and bright. "You gave us more than shelter," Thaler said. "You gave us purpose, strength, a future." Nathan looked at the flowing water. "You gave us the same. We were strong before. Now, we are better." They stood in silence for a long time. Far above, the horizon orbited as guardian. Lisa Morgan watched the green world turn below her. Tyler Brooks ran final checks on the crystal shields. Sophia Bennett taught a class of mixed children about healing. Everywhere, life moved forward. And the galaxy had cast the Valari out because they chose peace. Humanity had taken them in because they remembered what peace truly meant. And in that choice, both peoples found something greater. Not just survival, not just safety, but real power. The power of standing side by side, the power of opening a door when every other door slammed shut. New Eden turned in the light of its sun.